Ladies and gentlemen, it is June 11th. Today is Wednesday. Wanted to show you real quick what the weather's looking like here in Vegas. It's pretty bad, but my AC is not too bad right now. Usually when it gets like crazy hot, once it gets up to like the 115 plus, the AC starts to get a little funky when it's super hot, because obviously the heat, it affects the AC, specifically in my car, honestly. But I've seen in my mom's car and other cars as well, sometimes it can affect the AC capabilities pretty much. But anyways, we're about to head to the gym. Today is mainly an upper body workout. Today is a typical my Wednesday workout, which is upper chest dominant day. I am shoulders and triceps. So obviously you guys have seen a bunch of clips of this, so may or may not record, simply because of the fact that I want to try to keep things like a little more fresh in a way, because I could just record every single week the same workout, but it's going to be very repetitive. And keep in mind that I'm not changing the exercises I'm doing, I'm keeping them the same. So it'll be very repetitive, except I'll probably be wearing something different. The only difference. But to be fair, like I'd say the past 3 weeks I've been wearing the same outfit. So you might not even notice anything. You might think it's the same clips. But yeah, so today will be more of like just a car vlog type thing. And we'll go over a topic afterwards as usual. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Ladies and gentlemen, back home now. Workout has been completed. Usually I record at the parking lot, but it was way too hot and I was just trying to get back home and then, do the whole recording afterwards. Also probably because it's a little weird around there, and then there was a lot of traffic building up, so decided let's leave ASAP. But today, I just wanted to go over something a little different, more on the nutrition side of things. And I really want to highlight the importance of carbohydrates. So I think carbohydrates are pretty they're exaggerated in terms of how apparently bad they are for you, whether it's for fat loss or whatever it is. Honestly, they're kind of like, in a way, they're kind of people make it seem like they're dangerous and they're just going to get you fat. But you have to understand that our bodies run on carbohydrates. It's the main source of energy through carbohydrates. So it's really important that not only that you consume enough carbohydrates, but also that you kind of consume them at the right times. So what I mean by this exactly is that you're consuming carbohydrates around your workout to optimize that workout. And obviously there's a lot of carb loading things that come into play, meaning the carbs that you eat in the prior days do have an effect on the workout days after, when it finally arrives. That's why it's always important to keep up with that carbohydrate intake. And how would you know if you're keeping up with that carbohydrate intake, right? So once again, as I've preached in past videos, you have to learn how to track your macros and calories. So macronutrients being your fats, carbs, and your proteins, and your calories obviously being your calories. And this is going to vary depending on your goal and your preference, obviously. If you're building muscle, it might be a little more calories than the normal, and vice versa with fat loss. But the main thing is that you're keeping up with that carbohydrate intake. So obviously a lot of us do like our fats, our cheese, or milk for some of us. Not me, but I know a lot of people like milk products, peanut butters, nuts, whatever, you name it. But it's important that you keep up with that carbohydrate number. And like I said, you have to track actively and correctly. I can't stress to everyone how important it is. Just learn how to track, and from there, I promise you, everything will be a breeze in terms of the nutrition side of things. So just think of it like this: if you get your nutrition dialed down, in terms of everything is like there. You're eating enough protein. You have a stable amount of fats to keep your hormones in check. To keep your carbohydrates like not being like emptied out right away, and overall just to feel better. Obviously everyone needs an adequate amount of fats, especially if you're a female, obviously. But the carbohydrates, they need to be there because you want your performance at the best, right? To improve, to progress as best as possible, to have the most strength, and just overall the performance in the gym is what it's gonna go hand to hand with this nutrition that you have dialed in. So once you get the nutrition dialed in, all you got to do is just focus on chipping on the training, getting better with your form, improving your intensity, meaning putting more effort in every single day that you go, trying to hit that extra rep, trying to do that extra 5 pounds, training to failure, close to failure. That's really important. So it's really important that you keep up with this, the carbohydrates. Don't be afraid of carbohydrates. They're good for you. Obviously don't eat a bunch of sugar and then let that be your form of carbohydrates. In some cases it can be okay to eat like simple sugars such as like Rice Krispies and Gatorades, simple stuff like that around or during your workout. But ideally throughout the day you should be eating good sources like rice, potato, etc. And obviously we're digging into a whole nother thing, but that's pretty much it. I just wanted to highlight the importance of carbohydrates, and along with that, why you should be tracking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sure I forgot a few things here and there and then lost track of my thought, but I think we covered like the basis. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and please share if possible. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram if possible. Same thing as my YouTube. So yeah, have a good day.